All right. Welcome everyone to the training. And Dr. Michelle Peticolas is an international speaker, distinguished Toastmaster, select distinguished area director, former assistant division D director, and current District 57 Speechcraft chair. Phew, her club is Heart to Heart, and she is VP of Education at Heart to Heart, and she is fantastic. Welcome.
Thank you, Annabelle. So before you turn your screen over to speaker view, and any of you, if you would put your pictures on, I want to know how many of you are brand new to the VPE role. I only want to get a sense of, let's see, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are a number of new members, the new VPEs. Now, we also have a lot that have had a lot of experience. And the VPE role is probably the most complex officer role there is. It's more complex than almost any of the other ones, including treasurer. And I have been treasurer, and I know how complex the treasurer role has become. Therefore, we are going to move pretty fast. And I'm going to leave some things out, but I'm also going to give you the resources where you can find out more information. And so 2 things I'm asking Annabelle to post in the chat. One is the PDF for the PowerPoint I'm presenting today, and also the PDF of Pravina's PowerPoint, which is 3 times longer than my PowerPoint and has specific slides in there that will show you exactly what you need to do almost anything you need to do as a VPE. So those are the 2 things that I want her to put in right now.
Okay, hold on. I put the big long one in first, sorry.
Okay, so the big long one in it, that is your Bible. It is brilliant, and it has the slides to show you how to do everything I'm going to be talking to you about today. But in addition, if you get stuck, Annabelle is going to put in both her email and my email, and you can reach out to us, and we will help you if you need support. So here we go.
It looks fine to us.
We're good. We're good. Okay, so we're going to start, and what I want to do is make this as simple and as coherent as possible. So there are 3 primary responsibilities of the Vice President of Education. One is to manage the agendas. This is something you have to do for every meeting, unless you are lucky and somebody else manages them for you. And I've seen clubs where somebody else does it, and that's fabulous. But that you are responsible for creating an agenda for each of your meetings. That means you need to get people to fill in all the roles. Number 2, mentor and motivate. If you do mentor and motivate really well, a lot of your work will be done for you. So if you work with each of your members to help them set their goals for their education in Toastmasters, automatically that's going to be filling in your roles in your meetings. And then finally, monitor, which is to recognize, you want to recognize people in your meetings who have completed paths and reward them and reward achievements. So recognition, and also some people will fulfill requirements like Outstanding Achievement Award or Triple Crown. You want to not only acknowledge them in your meetings, but you also have to sign on the dotted line so that they get credit for it. So you really want to be able to monitor them. How do you monitor them? We are going to be talking about this. This is so important. This is the magic, and the reason why you are here today is, how do you know what your members are doing, right? Oh my gosh, how do I know? Do I ask them? Well, you do ask them, but sometimes they don't even know. So there is a back door that you can go to that will help you to identify what your members are doing. So there are 2 kinds of members. There are the, I didn't like that. Oh yeah, okay, here we go. There are two types of members. There are the experienced members and there are the new members. And new members require special care. And I'm going to have Annabelle explain to you about what you need to do with onboarding new members. But let's look at our experienced members. You're the brand new VPE. And the first thing you're thinking of is, oh my gosh, how do I make sure that we get President's Distinguished or be a distinguished club? Because why is that important? It sets you apart from other clubs and encourages people to join your club. So that's important. And it's like the structure for your club. And it's the structure for what you're doing as VPE. So the first thing you need to know is what you need to get done to become a distinguished club. And I'm going to show that to you in a minute. But the other thing is, how do you know where your members are? Well, there are two key places where you can find out. One is ToastHost or Easy Speak. I do not know Easy Speak. I only know ToastHost. From my perspective, it is the easier of the two. But in order for ToastHost to help you, you have to have your members fill in at every meeting. Otherwise, it's useless. Because if they don't put down their speech and they don't sign up, and it's real simple, but if they don't, then it doesn't give you any information. And if you look at that Bible of the PDF done by Pravina, and you go to page 16, it will show you exactly where in ToastHost you need to go to find out what an individual member has done over the last year or the year that you're working as the VPE. And then Basecamp is the other one, and it has a really cool backdoor as well. And I'm not going to go over that right now, but if enough people ask me to do that, we can do that after I get through this PowerPoint. And then Club Distinguished Potential, I'm going to show you where you find out how you're doing in the club distinguished category. And then I suggest that you create a spreadsheet listing every member in your club and what path they're working on and what level they're working on and what projects, so that you keep track of it in your own way, so that anytime you can go to that spreadsheet and find out what they've been doing. It does mean you have to update it. But remember, ToastHost and Basecamp are your back door to finding out what people do. And also, I recommend that you connect with each member of your club to create a plan. That is a plan that helps them to look at the path they're working on and how the level 4 and level 5 projects are going to help them in their own goals, their own personal goals. And then when they figure that out, then all the other projects from level 1 on up through level 5 is going to all work towards that result. And there is a great form that I hope Annabelle will put in. Do you have that form, the one that sets goals?
I will look for it.
Okay. At some point, you're going to put that in there. And if not, I'll see if I have it too once I get out of this PowerPoint. So you want to help them to set their goals. When they set their goals, then you're able to start plugging them in to your meetings. You say, oh, so when are you going to give your icebreaker? When are you going to give this speech? What are you going to be getting done in the next 3 months? What are you going to be getting done by the end of December? And what do you want to get done by the end of the year? And then you have them already working with you towards trying to get their speeches in. Any questions on this? Let me go and show you where the Distinguished Club information is. So you want to go to Leadership Central, and they're here. Can you see? Let's see if I have a video chat. Share more. somewhere in here I have a thing to write with. They keep on changing this. Well, it's right down at the bottom, and when you click on distinguished, you get this page on Toastmasters International. And if here you fill in the name of your club, then it will take you to a page like this. And this is a summary of how your club is doing, and it shows you all the goals you need. You need 4 level 1s, you need 4 level 2s, you need 2 level 3s, 1 level 4, and another level 4, 5, or 6. And so when you get all these, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 goals. And then if you get, we actually did fill this all in, new members. Toastmasters believes that you need to get at least 8 new members a year. And then that's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is right here in the goals, in the educational goals. Okay, so next we look at type of new members. New. Annabelle, I want you to go ahead and talk about this part because you have been the VP Pathways, and she does all the onboarding. So take it away. Oh, no, wait, before you do, I want to say a little bit about Annabelle. So Annabelle was the VP of Education for Heart to Heart Toastmasters for 2 years. She is also now the current VP of Pathways. And in addition, she has run a number of our speech contests. So she is very experienced at motivating and getting people to move forward in their Toastmasters goals. So go ahead, Annabelle.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. Thank you very much. So when we get new members, what do we do with them? You know, after Ashley's talk next hour, we're going to find out how to bring in a lot of new members. But then once we get all these new members, what do we do with them? So onboarding, what we've done in our club is to kind of separate the new members up between a VPE team, and each team member is going to be working one-on-one with each of these new members to get them into Basecamp. For one thing, Basecamp is our educational program, and a lot of you already know that, but this is where you would go search for and pick the path for that new member. They may want to be, they're coming in for all different kinds of reasons. Remember how Ray asked, you know, ask your new members why they're coming, and they're going to have all kinds of different reasons. So there's usually a path that will correspond to and help them be able to fulfill those goals that they want to complete. So Basecamp is where we have, I think we're going to show a little bit later what it looks like, but Basecamp is where they go in, select their path, and then start going through the different levels. What we suggest is for them to go look at level 5 in a lot of these paths, because level 5 has the culmination of all the things you'll be learning throughout that path, and they can kind of, if they choose a certain path depending on what their real goal is, and then their actual goal is, and then they can go backwards, and all of their projects leading up to level 5 can be geared towards that goal that they have. So another thing I too want to mention, so I put in the chat the big presentation that has about 50 or some slides, and it's a wonderful presentation. We just didn't have enough time to go over all those slides. So what these numbers are the slide numbers of that larger PowerPoint
Document.
presentation. So the Basecamp will be talked about more in slides 4 through 9 and 11 through 15. And so as Michelle mentioned, ToastHost is another way of for our members to keep track of their progress, for us to look at past meeting agendas and see what they've done, as long as she said, as long as they have put in their speech information. So ToastHost, or whatever kind of agenda program you're using, is a way to keep track of the progress of your members. And also the form, which I'm going to have to, after this, look for, the goals form is helping them to come up with a plan to complete their path and fulfill their goal or work towards their goal. So a number of ways to do that. to work with new members coming in is to do a speech craft or a mentorship. So I kind of was talking about mentorship. We're splitting up our new members into our different members, our members that have been Toastmasters for experienced Toastmasters, and having them work with them one-on-one. Another thing to do is what I've done one, Michelle has done one or more, speechcraft. A speechcraft is something where your new members, it works well if you have a group of 4 or 5 members that are coming in new, and they can go through a program where they're going to go through and do all of their level 1 and maybe even level 2 speeches aside from the main meeting. They can be broken out into breakout rooms if you're doing online. They can also be broken out. We've done this in the past where we have separate rooms in the place where we're meeting. And they do first of all, we have for everybody in the group, we have a keynote speaker, and they train on some aspect of speaking, like the vocal variety or the how to write a speech with purpose. So there'll be somebody that speaks on that. Ray's been one of our keynote speakers. He gave a great talk about humor. So they will be in on the meeting to listen to that, and then we'll break apart and then we'll do our icebreaker, our level 1 speeches, writing a speech with purpose, and then your evaluation speeches. So that is a great way to get a big number of new people in and through level 1 and maybe even level 2 in their chosen path. And the mentorship is working one-on-one with somebody to help them, start their first speech, their first icebreaker, first of all, help them to choose the path, like I talked about before, and then go on and do their icebreaker and all their initial speeches.
So the other option would be if somebody doesn't want to be a mentor, they can be a pathways buddy. So you pair people up with somebody who is in the same path, and then they can support each other. Gwen, do you have a question? Your hand is raised. Maybe that's from Mike. Okay, good.
Sorry, this is a mistake.
That's okay. I just wanted to not miss you if you had a question.
Thank you.
Okay. So anything else, Annabelle?
Someone to coordinate the DTM well.
Okay, so if you're going to do a speechcraft, you need to have a speechcraft coordinator, and that is one of the distinguished Toastmasters requirements for becoming a distinguished Toastmaster. And I think the number of people the percentage of people who are distinguished Toastmasters is very small. But if you want to be a distinguished Toastmaster, it's one of the things you need. And here's something, well, actually, I'm not going to go into the speechcraft. But if you want to know about speechcraft, reach out to me, because until the end of June, which is only a week left, I'm still the District 57 chair for speechcraft, and I can put you on the right track about how to run a speechcraft. If you're bringing a lot of new members in at the same time, speechcraft might be the way to go. Mm-hmm. But if you're not, then mentorship, or what we've done in our club is I've created a team, a VPE team. And I have 4 members, counting myself and Annabelle, and we have divided up the membership to give each of us 5 people to work with. That means that we're responsible for making sure that they fill out that goal plan. Mm-hmm. And we also take on some of the new members after Annabelle has onboarded them to get them through their first level. What I found is that if we don't do that, we might get people to give their icebreaker and then they go missing in action. So you really need to follow up with these people. Otherwise, they will disappear and you will lose them. That's my experience. Right. Any other comments about that, Annabelle?
No, that's a good point that you gave, because we have new members that come in, do their icebreaker, maybe first speech, and then we don't hear from them again. So we do need to keep in contact with them.
And here's another piece of information. As if you were either on the team or you are the VPE or the VP pathways, and you are reaching out to people, email, phone calls, text, whatever it takes. Don't give up. Don't just throw out one email and then if they never respond to you, let them disappear, because that would be very disastrous.
Mhm.
So I think we only have a couple of more slides. Approved member achievements. So remember I said that there were basically 4 M's. There was manage, mentor, motivate, and monitor. So as a VP of education, you need to approve people's membership of their achievements, the members' achievements. Does everybody know about that? So there are 2 places you have to do that in. One is Basecamp. So when they finish their level, they're going to have to submit something, and I'm going to need to talk to you about that because even advanced members don't know how to do this. And then in addition, you have to put it in Club Central so that your club gets credit for it. Hopefully someday they will streamline this, but right now you have 2 different places that you have to do that. And when you go in the back door, you can find out whether they've actually finished everything. And the other reason for going in the back door is sometimes you will find you go into Basecamp to see how people are doing, and you'll find out that they have finished everything in the level and they've never done that last little piece which says complete the project. Yeah, you know that, right? That's like a real crazy thing that they have to do, and it's real simple, but people don't know that they have to do that. Okay.
Couple of questions. I wonder
Yes,
if we should.
yes.
Larry has his hand up. Larry has his
Yeah,
hand up.
just a quick question. The VP pathways, is that an official Toastmaster role? I get confused about that one.
It isn't, but let me tell you right now, as a VP of education, you need a team. It is too big a role to do by yourself if you have a sizable club. Or even if you have a club that's the basic for being distinguished, which is 20, it's too many people. You need help. So having somebody who's a VP Pathways, in our case, it's the former VP of education, because they know this, they know the things, and they can support you. So that's the way in which we help our VP of education, is that we have the person who was previously VP of education be the VP Pathways, and then they can guide you and also help you with a lot of things, like going into ToastHost and making sure that you've got the right thing. Fortunately for us, Annabelle is also a secretary. And to approve members' achievements, it can be done not only by the VP of education, but also the president and the secretary. So she's backup for me, because she not only is the VP Pathways, but she has access to Basecamp.
There's another question.
Yes.
Go ahead and mute.
Yes,
Michael
Michael.
Schwan.
You have to unmute, Michael.
Mute.
Yes, we can
Toastmaster is updating their learning management system, and I've looked online and I can't see that they've done anything or announced anything. I may have missed it. Does
No,
anybody
you
know?
have
'Cause
not missed it.
My members are asking, hey,
Yes.
this was supposed to happen the first quarter,
Yes,
all these things, and nothing's happened.
that's right. Next year. Not this year, next year. That's what I've heard from the trio, is that they ran into some problems. Hey, it's technology, right? And we're talking about an application, and they ran into problems, so it isn't going to happen until next year. So
Okay.
it still means that you have to go in as VP of education. What I do is I do it on Zoom, and I have them share their screen, and I walk them through step by step. And let me suggest this to you, that you record it, and they record it to their desktop, so that when they have to do it again, they can look and see what they have to
Good
do.
suggestion. Yeah, because I get various people I've worked through or side by side with in Pathways, especially people that come in and they've never done computers before. They could have been a welder, they could have been whatever.
Yeah.
And it's a real challenge for them to work with a computer and then Pathways.
So if you have somebody who can't even share their screen, and I've had that too, I know I'm going to have to go and visit that person in person. Correct. And walk them through it.
Yep, that's what I've done.
And that's all you can do with that.
Yep.
Damaris, do you have a question?
And Michelle, can I add something?
Yes.
Stefano McGee, the second vice president, of Toastmasters International addressed this question this morning. It will probably happen before the end of this calendar year.
Yay!
You can't do it in June. You can't do it in July because there's all sorts of things happening then. You can't do it in August, but some point between then, September and December, is where the new plot is.
The new system is going to be put in place.
The new system is coming in, and it will be better for the mistakes they uncovered earlier.
Yes.
They wanted to unleash it, and then there was a hard time taking people's current earned things and putting them into the new system. So they stopped.
But
And I'll stop
Okay.
there.
Thank you, Ed, for that update. I appreciate it.
Pravina.
yeah, I wanted to ask Ed whether the DCP board will change in the middle of the year, or will it be the same and they'll change it later? Because with the new system, the new program will also.
The DCP will stay the same.
Okay.
The first 6 items in the DCP will be educational.
Yeah.
And they will look a lot like they do now. And beyond that, they're keeping their cards close to their.
Okay, the exploration project will then come next year, I guess.
Okay, so we've got the Alphabet City. DCP is Distinguished Club
Program.
Yes, Distinguished Club Program, which was what I was talking about. It's kind of like the guideline for your club, that if you can maintain distinguished, you are still an active, viable, successful club. And if you can be President's Distinguished, my club has been President's Distinguished since I joined, and probably a few years before that. And sometimes it's questionable, but we always sneak through. So that's really important, and it gives you a direction and a way to look at what you need to get done in the year, both for the president and the VPE and the treasurer and everybody.
Michelle, may I add that if, as you said, you asked everybody to do the goals. If you do the goals, you have an excellent chance of being President Distinguished, earning all the requirements for President Distinguished by December. We have done that for many years, and I encourage everybody to follow that.
Right. It really keeps, and then if you've taken care of that, then you have time for what Ray Egan talked about, which is to have more fun in your clubs and have fun meetings. So just finishing up this slide, watch out for dual club members, because you may have approved in Basecamp, but you need to make sure that your club members want to give your club the credit and not another club. And if you've already got all your goals, you might encourage them to give it to their other clubs so that we bring everybody up at the same time. Does anybody have any questions about that? I have more question people, but I just wanted to make that a point. You want to ask your members if they want you to give credit to the club you're the VPE of. So Damaris, you have another question.
I haven't actually asked my first question.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was interrupted. So I think we're running before we can walk. I'm pretty new at Toastmasters, and I just started using, pathways, I don't know, a few months ago, and now I'm the VP of it. Well, I'm going to be the VP of Education starting July 1st. I was wondering, you're talking about all of these and keeping track of members' progress. Do we have access to that? Because I was just wondering, where do we go for? I know you talked a little bit about it, but I was confused because I'm new, right?
Because you're new, yes.
Yes, and I feel a lot of people are new here as well.
Yes,
so yeah.
Yes. So what I want to do is I want to finish this slide. I think I have one more slide after this. And I also want to let you know that there is a place on WhatsApp. If you have not been on WhatsApp, it might be time. Pravina runs a VPE group on WhatsApp where you can also ask your questions. So Pravina, maybe you can put.
I did.
You already put it in there. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
I don't know whether it's the same goals template, but I also put a goals template in the. chat.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
Yes.
Thank you.
I
added that too.
boosted it up a little bit forward because we want to get those 5 goals by December. If that's still the District Bucks goal, we want to do that. We did that last year. Okay, so Dinesh Kumar,
Yes.
Dinesh Kumar, yes, you have a question?
Yes. You guys can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I know that you mentioned like if a member is already a member at another club, how can we verify what levels they have completed and give the same credits into our club, or we cannot take the credit for
Only one club can take credit for what they've
only
done.
one club?
Right.
Okay, great. So that answers my one question. So if
Okay.
they have completed 2 levels in one of the club, then and they continue to give the credits to the other club, right? So
If you've already got your goals for your distinguished club, you may encourage your members to give it to their other club. If you've been the one who's been doing the work with them and they've been giving their speeches in your club, you want to keep it for yourself if you need it. But you need to talk with your members and have them understand. And in some cases, I have a few members who are very, very active speakers, and they're saying hold back from putting it into Club Central because they want to save it for the next year, because they want to get a Triple Crown award, and they've got a level 5 and they've already done the level 5 for the previous years, so they hold back. So those are the nuances of being a VPE, is that you talk with your members about how they want to use. But in the beginning, if you can, you just try and take it when you're trying to get your distinguished club.
I have
Yes?
a couple of questions as well. So in case if this is something different, on different path, you mentioned about like easy speak is one of the way to track what kind of speech the speaker wants to give or the pathway it's following. What happens if the speaker does not show up and somebody else does an impromptu speech? How do we give credit for that speaker, for that speech? And how do we take away the credit for the speaker who did not show up?
Okay, so you don't give credit for a speech until after the speech has been given. So you don't have any problems with that. So then your member has to go to Basecamp to fulfill all the requirements for a particular project. And then they submit that, and then you approve it. So the other question you're maybe asking is with ToastHost, maybe they've gone ahead and put in that they're going to speak and then they don't show up. Is that what you're asking?
Correct.
So we have our secretary go in and take them out and put in the person who did give the speech. You can do a final rectification of the ToastHost agenda. Am I explaining that correctly, Annabelle?
Yes, that's correct. So yeah.
And what if the speech does not align with the pathways?
What if the speech does not what?
Align with the pathways.
Every speech has a place in pathways.
Okay.
No problems.
Right.
I'm an expert. I can take any speech and fit it somewhere.
Okay,
Yes,
got it.
definitely.
So make sure
And
that it
you
aligns
become
with the
an
pathway.
expert and say, oh, this will fit in here. There's always a place in pathways for the speech.
Okay.
Okay.
One last question.
Yes.
Question. How can I track for each member which pathway they are in and how many speeches are pending? Is there an easy way to find out?
Yes, there is. So how much time do we have left? We have about 15 minutes left.
Yeah.
Let me go to the last slide, and then I will stop sharing my screen, and then I can actually walk you through it if you want that. And it's better. It is in the Bible, the VPE Bible that Pravina created. Slides. So you want that too, because I'm going to show it to you. It's going to be so fast, and you're going to say, what? So you go to the Bible. It's there. Thank you, Pravina.
Yeah.
Final
Thank
thing
you.
is in this is OATM, that you saw that in the chat. Outstanding Achievement Toastmaster Award. You are responsible for approving that spreadsheet that gives people an outstanding achievement credit. And it is something that you might want to introduce to your club. My club only has 2 outstanding achievement people in the hall of the club because we haven't been pressing that, but you need to present that and talk about it. It does require a fair amount of acting outside of the club, and a lot of club members don't have the bandwidth for it. But you have to approve it. You have to put your initials and you have to submit it in order for them to get credit. So finally, there's also contests. You want to help the club to put together a contest chair. Every club is supposed to put on at least 1 or 2 contests. In District 57, it's an evaluation speech contest and a international speech contest. And you can still do that virtually, or you can do hybrid, which is complicated. And so if you go to the Bible, page 48, you'll find out more about contests. And let's see if I have anything else. Oh, those are all the things, Basecamp Manager. Questions, discussion. What do you need to know? We're going to take more questions. What are your biggest challenges and resources? Pravina's WhatsApp group and Pravina's PowerPoint. They are where you want to go. All right, I'm going to stop sharing this. And whoops.
And I just put a few comments ago, put in that goals form that you were talking about earlier that you could.
Oh, great, great.
Here.
So that's our current goals. We actually kind of moved it up a bit because we wanted to get people, we wanted to talk to them now and ahead of time because we're continuing as VPE and VP pathways. We want to get people started as soon as possible because we want to earn those district bucks, because those are the biggest district bucks if they do that. And Ed, you probably don't know the answer to that, whether that's going to be there again, but it's very motivating. If you can get 5 goals by the end of December, you can earn $75 from district bucks. That is the biggest one. Yes.
There will be that incentive. I don't know whether it will be $75 or not, but there will be the incentive of 5 goals by December.
Okay. If it's $5, forget it. Don't worry about it. Just get it by June. But if it's 75 or 70 or even 50, go for it. All right. So now I could share my screen and I could walk you through Basecamp.
Yeah, let's do one question Michael put in the chat. For those contests and competitions mentioned on the last slide, are those mandatory to host in the year? Not sure if I understand.
So they're not mandatory. Nobody's going to come in and send you to jail if you don't do it. You can choose a person to represent your club. So for example, last year we did not have a contest for the evaluation speech because nobody wanted to compete. So I volunteered and they approved me and I went on to the district and to the area and the division level and to the district level as the evaluation. You can do the same thing, I believe. Is that correct, Ed? You can do that also for the international speech, or do they have to compete?
At the club level, you can select someone.
You can select someone.
It's a contest at each other level.
Right. So they would have to go, but it's ideal if you are going to do a international speech selection, you would have them give their speech at your club to practice. Practice, practice, practice. I've been in these competitions. If you don't practice, you fail.
A couple more questions. And Nesrin has a question.
Yes.
Yes, from the very beginning, when onboarding a member, can a member see the level 5s of the paths they haven't chosen yet? Because when I joined Pathways, I couldn't see anything. I just chose some paths, and one of them I actually don't like.
That is nice thing about it. You can
see everything.
D57TM.org has a wonderful thing, and maybe Michelle will show us.
Okay. You might have to talk me through that, but you know that if you don't start the path, usually you can trade that path for another path by calling Toastmasters International. If you've not ever actually done anything in it, you can do that.
There was a question about district bucks. I don't know if it might be for the treasurer. He's asking if the district bucks is claimed by the club or the treasurer.
Well,
for the
the
treasurer.
team, your officers work together. For example, one of the things that I do is I invite keynote speakers. Last year, and I bet it's going to be this year too, you had to have a guest speaker to have an open house, which, by the way, Ray says don't call it an open house in your promotions, but you actually have to have in your promotions open house or you don't get credit. So you do call it something else, but you have to say open house as well. And in the last year, you had to have a guest speaker. So I invite people to be keynote speakers. And this is also going to be a plan that the district is going to do next year, is to give you an idea of people that you can invite that would be really good for training your new members, as well as keeping your old members excited and moving forward in their own goals. Did that answer the question? What was our question?
Not claiming district
so I will just speak it out. My question was, who claims the district bucks?
Oh, right, the district bucks. Thank you,
or the
thank
VPE?
you.
Yeah.
So we have our treasurer submit to VIMS. So the treasurer gets trained in how to do VIMS, and I forget what that stands for. It's an application called VIMS where you submit all of the things that are going to give you credit for district bucks. And then in addition to that, and you don't need to know this, I happen to know this because I was a treasurer for like 3 years, they also have to, once you earn the district bucks, you have to spend before you get the district bucks and submit receipts. And that's done in a program called Concur. And once again, your treasurer should be trained in that. Okay, I see Ed shaking his head, so I'm covering important stuff here. No, you don't have to submit it, but you help to make sure that certain things are taken care of. And if you've done the work to get your club 5 distinguished goals by the end of December, you want to make sure that the treasurer submits that information, right? You don't want to have to say, wait a minute, money. Okay, so that's why you kind of work with your treasurer and make sure they do things. All right, so this is a reminder, you have 10 minutes left. So what's most important for you right now? Do you really want me to show you how to get into the back scene on Basecamp? Yes? Okay. So I'm going to...
I have a quick question, Dr. Michelle.
Okay.
What is this ToastHost?
One is ToastHost. Okay. So Annabelle, I'm going to have you call up ToastHost on your internet, and I'm going to call up not D57, Toastmasters International, so that we can share how you find both of those things, okay? So that I know you need to log in, I need to log in, I'm going to log in ahead of time so that you don't have to see that part.
Well, everybody,
and I'm going to share my screen as soon as I get in here.
Everybody's club.
I have a question. Is that okay to ask now?
Yes, go ahead, because I'm still waiting for Toastmasters. There we go. All
okay.
Right, yes.
All right. So for the Triple Crown and OATM, you said we can look at the forms that members are submitting, and they may have some items in there that have completed in multiple clubs. So we just ask the member which other club they did it and make sure they fill that out in those forms?
Yes. They only submit one OATM form. If they want you to do it for them and say yes, 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 then you trust them, but you ask specific questions maybe to make sure. I always fill out the information in the OATM that's very specific, like what the date was, what the speech was. I've done a lot of speeches on Toastmaster Time TV. I put that in. And that's the way in which people confirm that they've done the OATM. Okay, does that answer? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. You're welcome. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. And this time I'm going to show you this. Everybody see that? Okay, so this is the page when you just log in. This is also what's called your My Home. You want to find this because sometimes you go on to Toastmasters and it puts you on some other page and you're like, how do I get where I need to go? This is how you do it. You make sure you're on My Home, and that's under your name where it says welcome your name. And this is Basecamp right here, right? Everybody recognize Basecamp? So you click on Basecamp. And because, okay, so now you have two places. One is here is member. You don't want to go there because you already, you want to look at what's other people are doing. So you go to Basecamp Manager and you click on that. And then you want, this is where you're going to sign and confirm people who have finished finished a path. You click on pending requests and they'll usually tell you, or I think you even maybe get an email that somebody's got a pending request. But this is where you find out their progress. Okay, as you click on that and you go, what does all this mean? I don't even know what any of that means. I go up to this search button up here and I type in somebody's name, such as, let's do Annabelle since she's here and she can give me permission to show her stuff. Yeah. Okay, so I click on Annabelle. And now I go to
Paths and Learning.
Paths and Learning. Yes, right up there. You got to go to there. Paths and Learning. Now, look, I can see everything she's doing. There's her leadership development path, there's presentation path, and visionary communication. Now I can open up. Let's go to presentation mastery. Aren't you almost finished with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see, aha, look at it. Level 1's done, level 2's done, level 3 done, level 4 done, and she just has, let's see what she has left to do. She just needs to speak professionally. And she's going to do that. When are you going to do that?
I don't know. August.
August. Okay. All right. So then when you want to go back, you don't click on any of these things here. You click on Paths and Learning. Otherwise, you get knocked out. So then you go back to here. And now you can look at her other paths. Okay, open curriculum. But this tells you what they've been doing. Now, there is another thing you can do in Toastmasters International that'll allow you to find out what all of the speeches or levels have been completed by your members over the year, but that only gives you information if they actually went and finished what they needed to do. For example, presentation mastery. Once she finishes this, she has to go to this little thing here and click in view details to get this completed. If she does not do this, she will sit in limbo. Also, when you finish all your levels and you finished your whole path, you have to hit path completion. There's a lessons learned speech they have to give. I did not know this. It was over a year. I had finished presentation mastery until I found out you have to do that. So you need to know that. Okay, so I'm going to get off and now, yes, Michael, you have a question about this?
Yeah, yes, about this. Once you complete a path, is there a way you can go back? You start another pathway. Is there a way you can go back to your old path, like presentation mastery?
And do it again?
No, just to look at
to see what you've done.
What you've done, or pick up other things that tips that were in there or other stuff as a reference.
Yes, yes. By the way, I systematically keep copies of every project. I download the PDF of the project that talks about everything in the project. So I have that as a record. And I also keep all of my evaluations so that I always know, because sometimes I don't submit stuff right away because I'm holding it for next year. I want to have a record of everything. And if I don't get a written evaluation from somebody, I fill it out myself with their notes.
There's a way you can go, let's say I'm now working on the humor pathway. I've done presentation mastery, a way to go back into the presentation mastery.
Okay, so I'm going to show that to you.
I think we only have 2 minutes left.
We only have 2 minutes left. ask me that again
you
another time.
can.
I want to have Annabelle show Toast Toast people.
Yeah.
Okay.
There
think
is a
you can.
way, and just reach out to me, and I can show you. Okay, Annabelle.
Okay, you guys,
oh, you go
so
ahead
you
and
know-
share your screen and show the Toast
It's gonna be
Toast.
real quick because we're almost running out of time. But this is just the front. Everybody's gonna have a different website to go. You know, you'll have to. I don't know where we got that from, but ours is h2h.toastmastersclubs.org. But in here is everything you need to know. The members only section, which is down here past the halfway mark, is your meeting agendas. That's the most important thing. Clicking on the meeting agendas, and here's where members fill in the roles. Fill in for the roles. Here's where you can put your speech. You actually get to say what path it is and which level, and a project description is clickable. Anybody in your club can click on the project evaluation form, which is so great. And then all of the like Michelle said too, after the meeting, you will rectify this so that people who have done their speech, it'll be on record here in ToastHost. And what else about ToastHost?
So now you want to show how they can find out what people have done. So you see up at the top, that little chess piece, that little pawn up there. You click on that, and then you can members speech report, and then you put the specific name of the person.
I'll put my name again.
Yeah.
I'll run it.
Run download.
Oh, boy.
And then it will show them
shows
all the
me what-
speeches they've given for this year from 2023 to 2024.
They're really, this has been so much information, all of you. I know it's like a fire hose. But I put emails for myself and for Michelle, and you could always ask questions later.
Larry, do you have a question about this?
Well, yeah, basically what we're seeing is not really official Toastmaster records, right? The Toastmaster records are the ones that are in Club Central and Basecamp, right?
That's correct. These are not official, but these have information that you might, that like your member forgot that they did this, or you forgot that you did something.
As long as the information was put in correctly in all your
so
meetings.
you need to have somebody who goes in and fixes it after you've had your meeting. They need to update it.
Actually, you don't need if the members put the information in correctly, and you can also do all members and get everybody's report at the same time. That helps a lot when you want to
share.
Right.
So everybody got the attendance log. Do I need to put that in one more time?
Has anybody not filled in the attendance form?
Put it in one more time before we go.
Oh, and if you want to save any of this chat, Annabelle, did you put in your email? I'm going to put in mine.
I put both of our emails in.
Okay, great. So save the chat. So if you do have more questions, you can reach out to us. And as you can see, we just flew through this, and we just touched the tip of the iceberg.
Pravina's PowerPoint is going to be an awesome resource for you.
It is an awesome resource. It goes step by step through everything that you need to know. Okay.
Last one for the